start here. So this is Garage Therapy. I'm Tabasco, and this is Mr. Leasure to my left. I should move that fucking screen out of the way. Ah, all right. Trying to figure out how to log in. So go ahead and kick us off there, Mr. Leasure, because I can finish what the hell I'm doing here.
Well, good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to be talking about a few little things as citizens and
Basically, how to act around other clubs. Just sort of the protocols. I happened to see a video this week where a guy he was on a bullet bike and he was passing a pack of 1%ers on the freeway. Now it was a 3-lane freeway. They was coming through a major city and he was in the far right lane, and the club started fucking with him, and like they were pissed off he was passing them. I know some clubs teach the protocol that you don't ever pass a pack. And to me, it depends on where it's at. I've come up on clubs many times, by myself, and we've had other club, a single member or something come up, and I obviously wouldn't blast right past them. I'd never be in the lane next to them. But you can be in the far right on a 3-lane highway or freeway. I've eked up and I've sat back on their rear because you don't even know what kind of club it is. Sometimes it could be somebody who does not even, properly trained. But you're looking for that rear guard to give you a way up or pass. And usually if you sit there long enough, and don't get in a hurry, they'll figure it out unless they don't know at all.
We were in a small pack last week before, and I watched this cruiser come up on our right, and he tailed us for a little while, and then I gave him the nod that he could go ahead by because we weren't in a hurry. There's 3 lanes.
Well, that's what they're looking for, and I think everybody who's in a club that comes to this podcast obviously knows that. But it's not necessarily, common knowledge to, let's just say, I don't know, maybe clubs that aren't as more like social clubs, they don't know all the etiquettes, but usually even in those clubs, you have AMVET riders and you have Legion riders and stuff. They know. I mean, if they've been around riding long enough, they know. But it doesn't necessarily mean you can't pass, but you just need to do it politely. I mean,
well, there's always a polite way for everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've had other 1%ers come up on our big packs coming back, and he's not going to sit back there when we're running 60 bikes. But he didn't just blast past. He turns out it was somebody's cousin who was in my club anyway, but who'd been in a long time, and my former boss from another club. But he kind of cruised up and laughed at us and whatever. But usually eventually they'll wave on by. But this kid in this bullet bike, he was kind of narrating his self. I don't know if he narrated his video after he was done. He was like, I didn't know what to do. I come up. He goes, what's their problem? He was in the far. He goes, am I not supposed to pass them? And again, it was kind of going through it'd be like coming through Atlanta or something where you got 5 lanes wide, and he's on the 3rd lane over. Well, a couple of those guys cut over, and then one took off in the club and cut in front and over to the 3rd lane in front of him. But there's other traffic, and look, I mean, I don't speak for any club, but some of them just get ridiculous, man.
Wow.
I mean, it's just like you're on a fucking major fucking highway coming in, through a major city, and everybody gonna fucking worship your ass, because they don't. I expected no one. Now, if someone just flat ass, does something stupid like buzzes our right side, or something. Now, I used to sit. We took a pack of at least, I think it was 45 bikes. We were up north in Ohio. This was in that first club, and we went to Finley, and we had a train going. I mean, a minute, I think it was 45, and I wasn't leading. There was a big brother that was leading, and they just sat in the left lane for the whole fucking trip. And it's like they don't have to worry about changing lane, which sometimes is the safest.
Well, I prefer in a big pack to be in the left lane, especially if you have merging traffic coming in. It's just better to keep the pack tight,
Yeah.
And that merging traffic, separate a pack, let vehicles in between, your brothers, and you don't know what's going to happen. It's 4-lane highway, someone's going on the right, and they're not disturbing the pack.
The problem with sitting in the left lane is that
it's smoother.
If there's only if there's only two, it's a 2-lane freeway, like I don't know what, like say 71 North or something, when you're out there and it sticks, or 75, you'll have these. You'll be, if you're running the speed limit, which we always try to run at least the speed limit, at level. So if it's 65, we ran 65 in a big pack. But there's people on the right will gap it, and they'll be in a hurry, and we're not moving. So then there'll be cars on the right. They're still going slower than the damn speed limit. So what they'll do is they'll bust that right lane, and they'll just try to, zam past you and then cut over, and I've slowed the pack down before. Let them pass, man, because it ain't worth getting anybody run over. You can be right, and you can still be dead,
Well, then people cutting in traffic like that, then the car in front of you, if there is one, they slow down. That slows the pack down. Someone not paying attention, car not paying attention.
Right.
You know.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, again, you can be right and you can still be dead. And I've said that a million times. We have, mutual friends that are both dead, that died on their bike and they were in the right. They turned left in front of them, But and you can't help everything. And that person, obviously, she turned from here to the, monitor in front of them. But I have also pulled out in front of a motorcycle. You just don't hear, you don't see what you don't see, intentional or not. And so, always don't trust nobody. I mean, I'm always over my clutch and brake, especially in Florida, man. In any state in the whole world that U-turn shouldn't be legal, it's this one. And these motherfuckers turn left in front of you all the time.
It's illegal in the state of West Virginia for a U-turn.
There's not Ohio, is it? Yeah, there's barely any. It has to be marked legal U-turn in Ohio. But again, just because people think they're right and they're the right way, that's still a car outweighs you. Even us fat boys.
Man.
Yeah, here's the thing too. When it doesn't matter. I hated going to bars, man, because in Florida, I did enjoy the evenings, and I liked going out to some of these places we go to. Outside patio music. I love live music and outdoor. That's why I moved to Florida, but not after like 10 o'clock because I'm so used to 20 years being in a clubhouse that I can't stand the bar thing unless it's early. You know what I mean? It's just you always get the dumbest, drunkest motherfucker come up and be like, "Hey, can I join your gang?" I'm like, I don't know. You can probably lead our gang. I mean, how much money you got, bud? But some people just act nervous because they are nervous about a club, TV or everything. I mean, they've seen in the papers, they've seen on Gangland or 1%.com or whatever they've watched.
I don't know. This life is totally different than what you see.
It is, and I said that. Well, the other night I did a backfill, podcast because the sound sucked last week. I couldn't use any of it to edit, and so I just did one, backfill of myself commentary, so I got something to post. And I told them, unless you're in the club, unless you've been in the life, you don't know anything. I mean, because 80% of what you hear is wrong, and what you think you know. And I also noticed back, especially since the dawn of social media. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago, and really Facebook was the only thing I was using. People think it's always the supporters want to argue. They're like, oh, blah blah blah, or, like the LADA or whatever, and they're not even in the club. And they'll be like, support this or support that, and they're the ones bickering, acting like idiots. And the 1%ers generally don't get involved in that shit. It's like, boom, they have a higher level of maturity. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
The majority.
The majority does, right? And like I said, there was one used to come into Columbus from Pennsylvania, Loomis. And we knew somebody was going to jail. I mean, it didn't matter. He was the funniest motherfucker and the most fun to party with. But you just knew we were going to probably end up in jail because he's out of control. He's one. Is that they say that who's that guy you have to warn before you go out with your friends? They warn about this guy.
Well, my wife. A couple of weeks ago, I spent the evening with a friend of mine. He's 1%er, and when she found out he was in town, she goes, "Oh, here it goes. 3-4 days, I won't hear from you, and you guys will be out doing outlaw shit, biker shit, and I'll get a call." She goes, "I'm not coming to get you this time."
I didn't. Jen's like, "If you think I'm going to come get you," I said, "Baby, you're not even on the call list unless I'm dead."
I once went to Ohio, and we made a left-hand turn and ended up in Sturgis for a week.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's about 36 hour left turn. But anyway, yeah. So we were over here at BT's once, and I don't know why. I think somebody was playing, and somebody wanted to see him play, but we sat like way out, the outdoor area with the big stage. wasn't really super packed. We went clear to the corner. You'll often find that clubs, especially 1%ers and diamonds, they just kind of hang out to themselves. They're not really looking for conversation or out with their guys. And like I said, there's always that one drunk fucking kid that comes up, can I join your gang? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. But you could be a dick.
That word gang.
You could be a dick, and you can, I've seen them treat people stupid because they're stupid. But again, that to me, that goes back to save it for when it matters. Is it really worth getting into it with some dumbass, unless he's calling you out or in your face, so that you end up getting a charge? Because now a fist fight will get you a felony, and hell, shit, you may go to court, it may be a misdemeanor, you may have to serve a weekend in jail, and maybe it's 6 weeks from now. But at that weekend, something breaks off, and you really needed you, but you're sitting in fucking jail over some goddamn dumbass at a fucking bar somewhere who's wanted to join your gang. You know what I mean? It's like pick your battles, man. You have to be above your ego when you're in the club, because you speak for everybody, and your actions reflect on everybody. So it's not just about you and your ego anymore. It's about your actions carry weight that either A, could get somebody else jammed up because you start shit with somebody and word doesn't get to your other brother, he gets a 2x4 at the fucking gas station, over some shit you didn't even know about, and it's prevalent. But
well, you should do that even if you don't belong in a club, or if you're not a member of the club. You should always hold yourself to a higher standard. I don't like bars myself. I have my own bar to go to. The atmosphere's better.
Right.
Drinks are cheaper.
Well, exactly. I mean, we control, people be so afraid to come in the clubhouse when citizens, and every citizen that we invited, couple or otherwise, maybe we met them a couple of times at the bar, they were apprehensive when they got there, but maybe that's the chat box. Let me say hello, see if anybody answers me. They had a great time when they were there. They felt safe. Nobody fucked with them. I said, you couldn't be any safer in our clubhouse than anywhere else, as long as you behave and show respect. And people, we've had people kind of go off the edge. They drink a little too much, or it's not just about the protocols. Like I said, down here it's a little bit different, but up north, no one ever touches the door. You don't touch the door. Assume to touch the door of a clubhouse if you're in it to come in and out. At least not up north. And like I said, down here, your guys' thing, I sat there and knocked for 10 fucking minutes. Nobody answered the door. And I opened it. Like, hey, come on. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I never really understood that. Well, my organization, we're out in the boondocks a little bit.
Well, right. And again, we had that with the ranch up in Ohio where we had 80 some acres and 5 barns and a 200-foot driveway. Once you're on and we greeted you, the property is open to use. You had bonfires out back and stuff. So we came in and out of the main farmhouse, But there we go. Jethro from Ohio. Hey, is the sound any better, Jethro, this week? Because I sure had to fight with it. See, the chat's in here. No one was chatting.
Oh, yeah, you didn't have the box scooted up?
Well, I don't know, man, because this thing is a pain in the ass. But
yes, it does. Sounds great. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a. June's supposed to have been here, but he's got to go out of town Wednesday for like a week or something, something like that. And he's always behind on his paint jobs, so he's
job security.
Yeah, he's humping it, and I'm like, oh, that's all right. I'll just talk to Mr. Leasure. In fact, I was going to text DNA and see if I could get him to come on. That's dangerous though, dude, because me trying to bring somebody else from the outside on, but somehow you can switch over to the tools. Some shit up here. I did that last week. Went to multi-guest, but I couldn't get it back on. I couldn't get it back to go to normal guest. I don't know, or no guest. But anyway, yeah, we were talking about, when you get to, well, even, the guy that does my pool or did my pool, who you've been in a club before, sort of. I mean, I guess you can call that a club, but he's just he's a New Yorker, and he just gets tuned up, man.
Well, he gets tuned up, period.
He does. He gets a little. Well, every New Yorker I've met since I moved down here are just like they're yelling at you when they're talking to you, and you're like, that's just how they talk. Like, geez, dude,
I dated a person from New York. Well, my wife's from upstate New York, which is a totally different. Well, no, different breed. Upstate New York, different breed. They're like regular redneck. but
you can catch them when they're like I told him, get a little glow to him, a little bit loud, a little bit, annoying. And I just went up to him. I was like, "Hey, man," I said, "Yeah, grab him." And he was just, I said, "Why don't you take off and I'll catch you next time, man." He's like, "Oh," then they want to over apologize for it. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." You haven't done anything, bud, but you're getting there. And I'd rather have you take off today so you can come back tomorrow, or next time, before you cross that line and get over that line. But I've seen people get, our bar we ran like that, the Last Resort Saloon. I mean, we zero tolerance, man, because we had such a bad reputation anyway for the club that we were in, and the clubhouse was upstairs when we first started. It's like, again, we had to convince people if they came to our bar, it's the safest bar in town because nobody's gonna fuck with you in here because we have the one strike you're out policy. And we would stomp and boot stomp people, but we toss them out the door and slam it behind them and be like, "Fuck off! We're not, we're gonna be in here partying, having bands and a good time. And all your friends are, and you ain't gonna be back in here because we don't put up with no shit. This is my house, not your house."
I hate people. When you go out, you shouldn't be a place you go out, test the water, get drunk and be loud.
Definitely not. Most of us had that sign that says this is not the place to figure out you can't hold your liquor, because it wouldn't be a good idea. But even we had one brother with a tattoo on his face, and you know who I'm talking about, who has, just gets a little bit over his, and this kid grabbed the door, to go out the front door. And our brother, the tattoo face, he's like, "Touch the fucking door." But the kid was kind of nervous when he got there. He was with a family or something. I don't know why he was there. I say kid, he was like 23. But, he kind of got comfortable a little bit and, he'd been there like an hour or so. So it wasn't, he felt comfortable to actually converse. He wasn't, and the first time he goes and does something wrong, this big, monkey motherfucker with the fucking tattoos on his face screams at him. I'm like, dude, back the fuck up. I mean, tell him once. Now, and then sometimes you're serving them the alcohol that's making them make mistakes. Don't get pissed when they make mistakes,
Well, we don't give a list of rules out.
Right. Well, but I told him, I said, maybe the first time you say, "Hey, bro, we don't explain the rule." Maybe he didn't even know the rule. It is not, well, there was a sign on the door that said, or beside the door that said only club brothers touch the door. But I never even seen it. Well, it's like your clubhouse. I was in there with Hopper, and I've actually still got the pictures. One of my favorite pictures of me and him sitting at the bar, and took my phone took a picture of it. I said, "Fuck," and no one said anything, and Hammer Light was still in, I guess, and Tread was still in. And then Tread, came back to me maybe next week, and he's like, "Hey, man," and he goes, "I need to talk to you about something." I go, "What's up?" And he's like, "Man, it's like the second time you've taken a picture in our clubhouse." I said, "Well, how the fuck am I supposed to know?" "Well, you don't take club pictures of most people." I said, "You don't touch the fucking door in everybody else's clubhouse that I know of, but you can walk right in yours. I mean, I don't know what you're doing." He's like, "Well, if you look at the picture behind you on that board, it says no pictures there." So you look behind me, and I didn't even notice it. I thought you did it on purpose. I go, "No, I didn't even see that," because you get those court boards, and you end up getting so much shit on them, but you leave them, so you don't take them down. So it's always the same thing. So when people walk in, unless there's something new standing out, you just don't even register what you see.
I think a lot of that no pictures in the clubhouse, people who don't know that would be posting things on Facebook or whatever.
Right.
We had that situation with some old ladies would take a picture.
We had the same thing.
We do Christmas. We put it on for the kids. Santa Claus rides in on a motorcycle.
Right.
We had the parents write on a card what good and bad they done. Kids know Santa Claus.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that's good PR.
But people took pictures, and I'm like, what's the big deal? It's just.
Oh, it used to be. I mean, the club. I
think it is, though. The different generations have a different outlook on things. There's a lot more secretiveness in organizations way back when than there is now. I mean, the difference between the clubs and mafia is clubs brag about who they are. Mafia keeps it a secret.
Well, yeah, that, and so, but yeah, no, the club, that I left or retired from, put it that way, is they had at the beginning, it was a staunch no photo policy. I mean, hard. We enforced that pretty heavily, and had maintained over all those years. I mean, it was almost 50 years.
Well, they had another rule that I had never heard from no one else.
What?
The other one too. You know, certain people wasn't allowed at the clubhouse.
Oh yeah, that's a weird one. I mean, of all things, voice meter aux VB. I'm still messing with this.
Everybody has different rules and setups.
Well, yeah, I mean, of all, but we voted on that every year, and Pauline Leasure. It doesn't. I mean, and again, I guess I would say that from the nation I left, had we had that long ass national every year, and we voted and went through every single how much you paying. I got a stack of dollar bills here somewhere. If not, you can bring some with you, and we'll give them back to you. How about that? That works out even better.
Not a crane game.
You know what though? I was telling Kraut and somebody I trained, Kraut's bar on the property, or the canteen, Kraut's canteen. I said we need to run like a Candyland night, like a I don't know, a Wednesday, and go down to the slippery pole down here, whatever the hell that place is called, and get a couple of them girls down there. But see, you can't really do nudes and stuff like that, or even these platforms are so tight, it's crazy. But if they were wearing like that fluorescent orange and green, bikini thing, and playing Candyland and Twister and stuff, I said you'd have 800 motherfuckers stacked up on this motherfucker, and they'd be giving roses and now we're trying to see if this thing's shared. I'm gonna go switch over to my. Oh, that is my normal.
So that be smart ass or not a smart ass. That just falls back on the guy who wants to join a club and he's drunk and outspoken.
Right. Oh no, we had that, and I'm trying to think who it was. You probably know him, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Who every time they got a few in them, they're all about it. Oh, I'm gonna ride. I want to go with you. I want to ride with you tomorrow. I know who it is, and I'm gonna be there tomorrow. We rode every weekend. I mean, we were on the pavement every weekend in Florida. And Florida's a big state. I mean, that's how we made the relationships we did. Because when I was elected to that position, they had let all those relationships go. They knew Waldo and they knew everybody, but Baker did. And I'm like, well, how come we don't party with them and stuff? Well, we just kind of went, you got lazy after 20 years. Basically, what you did, and we don't have any other friends. And our closest chapters, 8-9 hours away. At the time. So it was like, well, let's get in with these other clubs and go ride. And we have these people who get in the club. Well, you invite them along as a citizen to ride with you to see that they can make those commitments, or they have the time to do it, or they want to do it. They get a few, I'll be here tomorrow. And then the next day, Taco Bell, I can't really get a ride every time. I'm like, they want to be when they're drunk.
Well, everybody's about something when they've had a few drinks.
I'm about pizza or cigarettes or another beer. It's about all I'm after.
Another beer.
I'm gonna try to send this out.
I like that, hanging out, doing things too. Been talking about me, Mr. Leasure. That's the only way to stay popular, man. As long as people are talking about you.
Somebody's not talking about you, you're not doing something right.
Oh yeah.
Original post. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Hello, Springette. You still there too?
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
You getting ready to go to bed, Jethro? A 3:30 truck driving job.
Damn.
He hauls in big coils of steel.
I'm too stupid to pass the CDL.
Now it's $6,000 in 6-week course.
For what? CDL?
Yeah. I have a CDL. To upgrade my license, it's $6,000 in 6 weeks.
Okay, I gotta go get another beverage real quick. I can't hear without the headset. Jen's got a wireless set, but it's Bluetooth, and I don't think I can Bluetooth to this. But she has an adapter like this does for the mics, but I don't know where in the hell it's at. And I at least have one set of wireless.
Look, we covered all that shit. Don't overdrink. Oh, you're talking about individuals over drinking, going out, representing? Or is that citizens?
Well, it was citizens, but then also
that falls on everyone.
Really, both. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, like I said,
I can't hear you at all now.
You can't? Not in the mic?
I can't even hear myself. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
That I did.
Yeah, you can't hear me now?
Oh.
It's only the remote receivers right there.
Oh, there you go. I'm hearing you there.
That's weird. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I hear you. You know, when you
yeah, we used to go out in club mode. I mean, when we were out in public, because have your senses about you. It's a dangerous world. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And you want to represent well. You know, it's like I don't know. It's like how you act after work social. If you get drug into that shit at your work, you ain't the same person. Maybe not the same person. You know, at a bar, on a Friday night, or I'm just relating it to something where they're going to be on like their best behavior out at the bar. Well, you need to be on your six and representing. When you're out with your club and not get all fucking shit faced, not like an idiot, man. Because again, it reflects poorly on your whole nation.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't know if we have that at all.
You guys don't. I've never.
Well, I don't
seen
even know too many other organizations that have that issue with people who. Oh, Jethro said he can hear you.
Well, the one I left, I first, God, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, the warlord was drunker than the boss was at the bar. I'm like, God damn, and they're both shit faced.
They're the ones that shouldn't be.
I know, exactly. This range should be like 70.
I appreciate where I came in and what I've done, and who I came in under. Well, you guys, other than it was big shoes to fill and everybody looks at you a different way.
Well, you can never walk in anyone else's shoes, but all you can do is walk in their footprints. You can never be them, but you can try to, do what they did or as they told you or taught you. And that's your legacy. That's their legacy, even if they're not passed, even if they're still alive, but they're not, say, as active or they're retired, like Cece was. I revere that man to death. And he was the longest, one of the two before Booger passed, that were the original from down here at 20 years, 22 years. And, I respect them to death.
Yeah, huge shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
But,
the person that brought me in, he was one of those, I wouldn't say hard asses. I mean, he bikes 170,000 miles a year and a half.
Right, told me. Was it the neighbor?
Huh?
Was it the neighbor?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. Even to this day, if I've done something that was questionable, if he just agrees with it, I don't even care what comes out in the pipe, what punishment I have to face, because,
well, you're your own person in the end. I mean, seriously, you're still your own person,
Yeah. Well, I have to think about it. I'm my own person, but I'm representing the club, and I'm also representing that person. Yeah, that's fine. And I guess it all comes down to who brings you into this world, how you come in, what you do, and how you conduct yourself, and what you expect other people, how they should conduct themselves. That's the hardest thing. The way you do things and the way someone else does things out in public or out on the road are different.
Well, I mean, I tell you, can you hear me now?
A little bit.
There are some diamonds clubs that just want to give off the aura that they're mean. I mean, seriously, they're like, don't talk to me. I don't give a fuck when they're out to citizens and stuff. And there are some that just, I mean, I can't, truly arrogant. I mean, like they change, because I know people that weren't wearing it and then who did, depending on, what club. And, you saw that instant change where their chest is puffed out. Hey, there's nothing wrong being proud of your club, but it doesn't, again, goes back to that quirky, stupid saying everybody says, the past don't make the man. If you wasn't there, if you wasn't the man, if you wasn't that guy when you got there, then don't act like you're that guy now, Right. And they, when I was,
sometimes like Miserable, my brother Miserable, I learned a lot from my pops, but I learned a lot from the Miserable too, who was the man for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
and back then they didn't have prospects. You just hung around if you wanted.
Yes, I act too much like him.
Yeah, Jethro. He's talking about the neighbor.
Mm.
But he
One of my favorite people in the world.
Jethro, he and I come in around the same time. You know, originally when I first started coming in, he first started coming in.
When I met,
but he was around the club 10 years probably prior to that.
Well, when I met him,
if not longer,
and the year that he had said, I think he said 12, would have been with the dead. I believe it would have definitely been with the dead because I think I was. This is what my tattoo says anyway. The dates, unless I got them wrong, but it was probably Ohio Bike Week. But I already been through the first one, education.
Well, what is Ohio Bike Week? That's down in
Sandusky. It's big.
Coffee.
No, that's the rodeo. It was the rodeo. Now Chillicothe is no longer hosting the fairgrounds in Chillicothe for many years, which is obviously. Have you been there?
No, I've never been there.
Well, Chillicothe is a farm town, much like anything outside of Columbus.
All I ever knew about Chillicothe is it always rained and everybody's bikes were pocket deep in mud. You didn't have to put down the kick.
Well, yeah, that campground was just egregious. We had a compound there that took over a whole city block practically. It was like a pole barn, but not like a shelter house. But I mean, a giant one, like 120 by whatever, and that's where our main area. Then behind that, we would camp. Well, that whole campground does have sort of a packed gravel road around it, but all the spots are grass. So if it rained, it just turned into a mud pit. But it's like there are no rules, or very little rules, and it would just I couldn't stand it, man. I get around that many people, and I get hyper aware. And we had a set of bleachers, I think two sets. We snow fenced in the whole thing. So and we're right on the corner, one of the main corners. So we see the whole parades, everything come by. We had bleachers sitting there. We just sit there in the bleachers and watch it. But I get I get like super tuned on edge when I'm around that many people because just wait for something to break off. I'm so always looking. Your head's on swivel so much it's spinning in circles,
Well, that one year when I was heavy with the big COC out west there, the weekend before Waco, Texas, there was 145, 148 different clubs in Denver.
Yeah.
And you're always wondering and thinking, oh, it's going to pop off. But, everybody conducted themselves well. No problem, ever. I've never seen issues at a big gathering like that.
No, I went to only one COC in Columbus back when I was in the original club. And it's the only one we ever attended. And I don't know them. I don't understand them. I don't get it because it seems like counterintuitive or intuitive or whatever. Because the same clubs that are beefing with each other, but they can go in there and they can not have any problems.
Well, there's clubs who are beefing with each other, but in different regions of the United States, they're still hanging out. Well, what is that? Coexist. Well, they might not hang out together, but they coexist in the region they are.
Well, but that was one of our beefs. That was one of our biggest problems, in the club we came from, was that you cannot coexist with clubs, or if you do, which is fine. I know why they did. We like coexist with those same people up north, but then when you have the issues elsewhere, you have to work that out, which we did have meetings, but you can't lean on them where you matter to them to influence where you don't matter to them. Make sure your people are being righteous, but you can't just hang out with them and invite them to fucking state parties when they got fucking markers on your fucking leadership in another state. I mean,
oh yeah,
you can't do that. It's just crazy. But if people, I mean, yes, people are just different. I guess I don't know, but I forget what I was going to say about that. What else were we talking about? I was going to look at them.
You see that? Okay.
Not really, but I wrote it. I should know what it says. I know what to say. So, like when we go out, I would go out around here, go out the shoreline, to that place, the Mullet, where I used to go. I go. I liked that place, and I would go out there and I would sit, just have lunch, before by myself with my colors on and stuff. And that, I might get approached by a citizen or be sitting up at the bar, getting wings or whatever. And guy would, can I ask you a question? I mean, you can ask me anything you want. I may not answer you, and I might lie to you. I'll just tell you that off the get go, but I'm probably not gonna lie to you because I probably wouldn't answer you. but don't be afraid to ask questions. If it's something I can't tell you, I mean, you can kind of test them because they ask really stupid questions. You want to end that conversation, not somebody you're looking at, even for support.
I don't answer questions.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, it depends on what question.
Comment.
I mean, they say, do you really have to pass your wife around? Do they really, things like the old school stuff that they bring up? Be like, yeah, no. I mean, you think that anybody's always going to let that happen in this day and age? Not generally. That's the stuff of storybooks and legends from back, when they didn't have to. They just gave it away because it was a Semite Kraut. I have all these pictures of Kraut from over the years, and half of them he's naked, and I'm like, Jesus God, man, you fucking nudist. But that was the time of free love,
well, that's why things got away from the people. They weren't paying attention to the ones they should have been paying attention.
But I felt like if you were out talking to somebody, look, I'm always looking at somebody, if not as a member, because it's not a race. You want quality over quantity. But on the other hand, we also pay our bills that way, so we want supporters. And somebody's cool, and even if they hang around and do nothing but become a really good hanger. We had a few of those. We had Fester and a few. They weren't going to join our club, but we became pretty good friends. And they knew how to act in the clubhouse. They enjoyed being there. They'd rather be there than a bar, as well. And they were there religiously to throw you some love and support.
Usually the ones that support so hard, they go out of their way to make sure you go without. You have anything you need though,
right.
or they'll bring food or
absolutely, and always want to participate in to that level, but not want to join. We had one wheels.
I wish a lot of people was like that. Those were better sometimes.
Mr. Black had wheels. I don't know if you remember wheels. He had gray, long beard. If you saw a picture of him, which I maybe have one somewhere, you'd recognize him. But he supported another team. He would support everything. I mean, he was in Leasure with them that time. I mean, everything. But best friends with Mr. Black, and he was a good friend of mine. He still is. I mean, he kind of had some health issues, fell away, but he was no less a supporter of us. But he was not going to ever join any of those clubs, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But when you go out to these places, like I would rather sit and chat with some dude and have him say, man, to his buddies and be like, I met this so and so, from this club, or I met Tabasco from the blah blah blah. I mean, those are some decent motherfuckers, man. It was a decent dude. Instead, you got these people go there, what do you want? I'm wearing a patch. You can't talk to me. And then they wonder why they have no friends, or no business.
I've been as far as west as Texas, and pretty much Texas straight up north over to the East Coast. And the organization I belong to, I flew a patch all the way to the Northeast corridor. Didn't know that probably I shouldn't have, but people I ran into knew the older gentleman in my club, and they talked to me or whatever.
I mean, there's that saying that just because you can, doesn't mean you should. Because you could be getting because you represent everyone in your club, and you could be getting your club jammed up or your club brothers jammed up without trying, because you're thinking of you wearing that. I want to wear my patch. It doesn't mean you can't or you should. Doesn't mean you can't, but it doesn't mean you should, because it might bring problems down to everybody else.
Yeah, I was told one time.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, Jeff. That's exactly what I was talking about. I mean, you've seen it a million times up there, and I have too, from guys that they weren't all that tough until they put that patch on.
Well, Jeff, he said it to me. He goes, "How is it you can tell people to fuck off, kiss your ass?" And they kind of smile and just walk off. They don't take you seriously.
Who knows who it is? But yeah, I mean, I had a guy who, this dude, I said, if you couldn't lower the bar, I said, if you lower the bar and you lower, I'm going to trip over and walk into your clubhouse, and I knew the guy, and he had come up through their support, and then he, got his patch, and I was down at their clubhouses in Ohio, and he's like, look, we like to kind of pick at each other,
yeah.
And he's like, well, I did it kind of like egregiously because he's stupid, and I just point that out without saying it. But he was like, well, I got what you don't have, or something like that. I'll go, what's that? He's like, I got this. I said, you know what? I think that might be mine. I said, the one I gave back. I said, really? I said, you got that? But I said, I think you're wearing my hand-me-downs. I said, because I handed that patch back in. But And then he asked me to borrow my bike on a mandatory run like a week later. Can I use your bike to go to Pennsylvania? I said, I thought you were 1%, man. What the fuck? You know? No. Yes, no. Anybody else I might have, but just to see how this ends up, I'm going to say no. You know? But yeah, no, but they again, they go out in public and they posture. And they, and you don't, and look, it's not any club in particular. They did that down here. I mean, like I said, when I came to Polk County, when I moved down to West Palm Beach, it was 3 hours, you know, to come up. And I came up probably 3 out of 4 weekends a month at least, and 6 hours round trip, man. It was always a long Sunday ride home, man, hungover. But
everybody thinks Florida's small.
Oh, I know. People are like, hey, where you at? Oh, stop by and see me. I'm in like Homestead. I'm in Key Largo. I'm like, oh, it's only like 7 hours from me, you know. But even the other coast is, you know, 2.5 to 3. But they, what the hell was I going? Oh, I would have to check with Tattoo Face every time I came in. I would come in Friday. I get done working because I work remote. Get done. My bike's packed. Boom, I'm heading off because it's 3 hours to get up there. And I get up there sometimes at 5. You know, just a nice day, go for a ride anyway. Go up to Okeechobee and stuff. But I'd have to only get some wings. I'd have to text him to find out where we've been barred from this week. I mean, because we have been barred from almost every bar in that county when I got down here, and the few ones that had opened were red. It didn't take long. And that's really counterproductive, man. You can't get out and recruit. You can't go to the not that I'm big on going to the bars or even the bike nights, but some people are. And it's good. You need to get out and be seen. You need to get out there and shake it and groove it. You need to go out there and talk to some people, get some people to come back. And he's like, I don't give a fuck about citizen. I don't care if I said, look, I feel you. I could sit in my clubhouse with just 2 of us. Me and you can sit in your clubhouse until daylight. I'm perfectly fine and content with that. I'm happier actually than if we were sitting out some bar all night, you know. But when you close those doors, then you can't even recruit. You can't even go to these places where everyone else is going there, even to have any fun, even to go out on a Friday night and you know, with your patch and be able to go to any bars because you got yourself thrown out everywhere. And I love these, you know, when people, that's our bar. That's our bar. You know, that's our bar. No, it ain't. Unless you own the motherfucker, it ain't your bar. You know, it's the owner's bar. And just like the owner's house, it ain't your house. Show respect. When you know, that might be your regular bar, your regular hangout, but don't get it twisted. You don't pay the fucking bills there. You know, all of the bills. You might contribute to a portion of them, but I think I paid the electric bill at the bar from my house up in Ohio. But
you know, I had a bad taste in my mouth with a lot of bars. Even before I was a member of another one, you know, always seemed to have a problem in a bar.
I don't.
My personality doesn't mix well with others.
And you know what? I don't. I just must have that look of don't even talk. That they think I'm old and can't hear. They don't usually even talk to me. I mean, I don't. You know, I'm not there to visit and see them. I'm there to see a band. We used to go to one up here on 19 often, and you know, there were some clubs that were banned out there, and we kind of touched on that last week about, you know, having a patch ban. But there was a reason. Now, one of the reasons I didn't agree with, but again, I don't own the bar. You know, for one club that wasn't allowed to fly his patch, I think was kind of bullshit.
That's a racist.
Huh?
That's almost racist.
Well, you know, but then there was another club there was a reason why, because every time they come in, they act like assholes. And so he didn't ban all patches. He said, you know, if you come here and act decent in my place, and I got no issue with you, you can wear your patch, but you want to come in here and act like you own the place. Well, I think all right, Jethro, night all. He's got to go to bed.
Yeah.
But you know, one club continually comes in.
I think that is a customer-based thing too. A lot of people do the ban so they get that regular customer, the citizens.
There was some. Yeah, well, that's what he said. He goes, because when one particular club comes in and acts like assholes, it will clear my whole business out. And then they might stay an hour or a half hour, be loud and obnoxious, and then leave. And I've just lost, you know, 5 couples that were sitting here having a good time.
They come in every week.
Right, come in every week. I get it. I mean, if you can't behave, then don't cry about getting fucking banned. But, you know, places that flat ass like Daytona that just flat bans every patch.
Well, I think that's more the law enforcement.
Well, I know it is.
My opinion.
100%. They'll tell you that basically they'll threaten their liquor license. And that's happening a lot. People are getting night number 2. What's that mean? Oh, night number two. He's number two. No, they'll flat tell you in a lot of places that law enforcement will put the pressure on, tell them if to make it dictate no patch, a patch ban, or they'll send a liquor agency or the health department down there to fuck with them and everything else. I had that conversation with law enforcement when we opened that bar, and I had invested money. This was when I took it over after I had left, and then Iron and those guys, Tank, everybody came in, and we had real money invested, like 30 grand.
Now, owning a bar, you couldn't, you never had a colored ban?
No, not at all.
On any?
Nope. Well, there was one.
Well, my father did.
But LE weren't really. LE MCs are fictitious, and that's if you're gonna pretend, then go to a pretender bar. They knew better. They wouldn't come into that bar anyway because of who we were when we leased it originally with the clubhouse upstairs, and they also knew that we had zero tolerance for shit. But the third shift supervisor was a really good friend of mine and a friend of the guy who brought me into my club, Delaware J, originally from high school because we all grew up together. And he used to come in and he cut me some wide slack. But when we had when we first opened, I had the gang task force guy and a detective come to the bar and ask for a meeting. I think it was either Mason or Iron or somebody or Joker maybe, I don't remember. But I said, well, take this meeting with me because I don't want to take it by myself because anything you say, there's two of them, one of you, they're gonna lie, Anyway, but so they did not want us in that town. I mean, this is a small town and this is a big club that we brought in, and I listened to him. I said, we're here to just
Well, you take these big clubs in these small towns. I personally know people that.
Hey, brother, I was gonna the DNA. I was gonna text you, see if I could figure out how to do that group thing. DNA.
Oh, Brittany's home.
Huh?
Brittany's home.
Brittany who?
Your wife, Brittany Spears.
Oh. Time is it? I can pull the gain down a little bit. That's what we were getting an echo earlier, so I pulled the gain down on ours.
I notice when I'm on studio and I have guests or whatever, there's always a fucking echo.
Go up with that one.
Which one?
The one you just did.
Well, I can only go so far because we're at the top of the gain. It says fader gain. It gets in the red. Is it still echoing? Or are you still?
Is it?
You sound good to me.
She's saying it's not bad. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good. Now, clubs, big clubs, small town.
Yeah. Back to our
previous conversation.
Yeah, previously recorded conversation. Yeah, and that's what happened. Well, of course, Ohio is full of small towns. I mean, you guys are, I guess, down here too, but most of the clubs are in big towns. Dress this back down a little bit.
Yeah, what we were saying, when you get more than one club in a town, you get people that grew up together that go separate sides of the fence.
Well, we were on both. I mean, we were on the west side, and there was the other diamond was on the east side, and that's just the way it is. They have family in each one.
It's like a Civil War shit.
But yeah, I mean, DNA was and where where it was Springfield, is that right? No, what was
Yeah.
it? Was it
Springfield?
Yeah.
Was it Springfield? I guess it was. Too far over, but I guess that. So it's a bigger, small town. It's probably bigger than Delaware, though. But where I came from. But I told the gang task force guy and the detective, I'm like, look, man, we're all from here. You've been dealing with us since we've been arresting us since we were like 18, and some of us in high school probably. I went. The Judge Loudon was the juvenile judge in Delaware. Ohio, where I was, and he pretty much was handing out all the punishment. You just knew that if you got a ticket, you were getting 4 weeks suspension or 8 weeks suspension or 12 weeks or whatever. He was a disciplinarian. But DNA dealt with that. Springfield is very similar. So these are small cities, not like a village. They're a city. They were farm towns, but then as Columbus grew, it kind of just grew right into them. I think Springfield's probably a little further. No, maybe not Delaware, really. But they kind of calmed down when I kind of explained it like that. I'm like, dude, and I didn't like just go through a list of who was in our club, but I'm just like, you know me, and he knew the number two, and I said, we've all grown up here, I mean, it's not just because we put that on doesn't mean we're going to go. I'll be honest with you, they don't teach LE anything. The normal patrol officer thinks we're all one club. Seriously, because they've asked many times, not all of them, and don't believe anything they say, but they think you're with this one club. You know, whoever the bigger one is, or are you part of the who, you know, and it's like, they don't have a clue, you know. But when we opened up over here, I wasn't there. Farm Animal was, and we were getting ready to have our grand opening the next day, and they came by the clubhouse, and I was actually out the Bayport Inn eating wings by myself, because I like to get away from everything before I have to deal with everybody. And he calls me. Hey, it was him, I forget who else. I think maybe Apple or something, I don't know. But it was like hey, the gang task force is here. You'd like to have a word with you. I'm like, I'm eating wings, man. And he's like, I had nothing to talk to him about. He's like, give me your number, just have him call you. I'm like, yeah, Pig, I want you to give him my number, you idiot. You know, no. So I had nothing to say. But he was asking, so and so, no, you guys are over here. So and so, I don't know what to call them, ask them. You know, I don't know who knows what.
Well, you know, my old lady's been pulled over and things said, and she goes, well, you know a lot more than I do. Maybe you should
light
tell
some
me.
incense. Do what?
My old lady got pulled over with questions one time, and she was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, they do that. I mean, they'll do that to death. I mean, Jen didn't know when they came knocking on the door, and you know, only when they came back a few weeks later with the peer warrant, that she was like, well, I told him that, you know, you didn't know this. I said, you told me that's what you're supposed to. You didn't know. You're not supposed to. I mean, you know, there's no reason. I used to tell them if there was something going on, unless it was going to directly affect our guys here, like down here, say there was a mission going on that was above my pay grade, don't even tell me about it. I don't want to know about that stuff, you know. I'd light some incense over here.
Yeah.
But you guys don't have that problem. I mean, really, I don't think. I mean, number one, you guys don't go out to bars. I mean, there's not that many of you, you know, well, there is, but they're old. You know.
Oh, no, we got some young guys that, you know, bar schools.
That there lies the problem.
What's that, DA?
DNA.
DNA?
The younger, it ain't the problem of the club being in a small town. It is the problem with the younger guys in the club who watch 2 weeks episode of fucking Sons of Anarchy, and then they want to run around the small town. You know, take that shit to the bigger town. Don't do it in the town your chapter's out of.
Yeah, that's like don't shit in your backyard. Well, that's the thing, though. Like DNA said, you know, people watch the 2 weeks of Sons of Anarchy, and they think they might know something, and they start doing that. It's ridiculous the way people are.
I'm surprised it hasn't. How did that movie do? That
I heard it got great reviews.
I mean, has it been? I haven't been to a movie theater, and I can't say. Well,
I've been wanting to go. I've been wanting to go see that new movie, The Bike Riders.
Yeah, I just didn't know if that's going to. It has the potential to spring up a bunch more garage bands.
Well, I don't know, because it's based on one of the biggest bands.
Well, that's the second part of this new group of people that call themselves bikers. They needed this movie to come out so they can figure out how to continue their career.
Well, sure. I mean, they've all stepped up the boss now, so they got to see how. I haven't seen it. I've got the book in there. I've had the book for years, almost 20 years. I know the story. I lived it. It's like Pee Wee Herman. I'm just, what did he say? He's talking about, I'm a rebel. I lived it, or something like that.
Well, doing this, do what we do, everybody writes their own chapter of what they're doing, but you're continuing the chapter under the person you came with.
I mean, I miss a lot I miss what it used to be, not what it became, honestly. I mean, I know you get from it what you take, right?
You get what you put in.
No, not always. You don't always get back what you put in.
What do you think, DNA?
What was the question?
I just said that I miss what it was. Maybe just for me.
What it was and what it is now.
Yeah.
It's not. Hey, I can get locked up by myself.
Well, that's just it. I say you're only as smart as the dumbest guy with you, and there ain't no IQ test to get a patch. So we've had guys out there that it's funny because when that little short dude, a midget, came on and got his farm animal went with him. Like I said, that's that story down in the Clearwater where we had no business being. We have no game there, and this is an extremely political state, obviously. I'm like, you're just down there just because you can doesn't mean you should, man. Because you're just down there to poke the bear or create problems, and that could roll back on all of us. It's not about you; it's about the club. But everyone sees it that way.
And that's the issue. You got one of your I'm using this very loose fucking term, club brother in a town and trying to let his patch speak for him instead of him speak for his patch. I was who I was before I ever come in the club. I'd knock shit out of you, whether I'm in a plain T-shirt or whether I got my patch on my back.
They are, and when they do that, they put everybody at risk. Well,
yeah, they don't want to come back and tell you, hey, I was just at this bar and I got punked out. They want to keep that to themselves, and then you walk in there and the same people are in there. All they're looking at is the patch on your back. Oh, you the same as him? No, I'm. What are you talking about? No, I ain't the same. I'm gonna. yeah, good love TikTok.
Yeah. We'll have a big after school meeting if you think I'm the same kind of person he might have been. Well, he's just saying, sometimes you may run into where one of your club brothers went into a bar and got punked out by a group of people, but you're a different kind of person. You walk into the same bar, and those group of people think that they're going to do what they just did to your club brother. I mean, it's not going to have the same outcome, circumstances. Chances are. But again, it's not the with me though. If I went to that club and ran into that situation, I'd find out who that club brother was, and he'd have another problem.
I mean, I hate bullies.
Well, yeah, that was good back in the day. You could do that. Like if I went out and messed up, Tabasco come yank me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, DNA, what the fuck are you out there doing? But now you try that. Oh, don't do that to him. You can't do that to him. What do you mean I can't do that to him?
Yeah,
I've said that before. When you belong to an organization, same rules that apply to some citizens and general public don't apply to you. It's a different protocol, set of regulations, whatever you want to call it. I might not be able to beat up this old guy, but that old guy have a patch on. He might be an old guy, but he's got a patch on. Different rules.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I know of an old guy that got stomped pretty good down at Quaker Steak once, not in my club, but a club we know. And I mean, come on, man. I mean, the guy's like 80, and he was denying that he was who he was with because he wasn't wearing anything, but his bike was marked up. And he attacked an 80-year-old guy or 70. Come on, man.
I'm not talking about other in my own organization. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said,
but what's an 80-year-old guy going somewhere marked up by himself anyway?
Well, that's what
he obviously didn't know the rules.
What Farm Animal did. I mean, as soon as the midget got his patch, man, they were down in Clump showing, or down in Clearwater at the Quaker Steak showing. We ain't never been down there as a club, and all you're doing is putting people at risk. You weren't at that bar in the West Side DNA that night, the fourth grade and all them. Remember when that went down?
Yeah.
Were you in with us then, or were you still with the other?
Yeah. No, I was there.
Yeah, well, things are different up north too. You still down here. There's a camera on every corner.
Well, yeah, up north is really. I mean, there used to be only two prevalent, but there's a lot of mix now in Ohio, obviously. But yeah, we were leaving our state party, and we left south side of Columbus. I mean, far south. I live probably 25 minutes north of the north part of Black Eyes.
Yeah. My old lady, Black Eyes are ordered.
Yeah. So I live like 20 minutes north of Columbus, and this happened to be a party that was at the very edge of the south outer belt of Columbus. It was for being hosted by another club. I think that we got a warning for hate speech. I don't know what we're talking about this hate speech in. I watch our choose our words. We tweet out ACT result. Megan, we got a warning. Just a warning though. But we didn't know.
The rules
Yeah. We had left this party and didn't know that a couple of our guys had gotten to a beef with a completely unrelated organization. They weren't on a motorcycle club at all. But nonetheless, they didn't tell anybody. So I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know if DNA was there because that was. I think didn't you come from that Grove City club, DNA?
No, man, I came from the London, man. You put me under. You trying to put me under Clyde's, man?
So I thought you came from. I thought they had like a spring, like two chapters, and one came from Grove City, and one came after that from somewhere else. I thought that's where you came from.
No, we came first. We came from London.
Oh, London. Okay, yeah, it was the same club though, right? I mean, same patch.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. We'll say that it was the same patch.
Right. But so we left that party. Like I said, we were going to stop at that bar. We had to go around Columbus anyway. My wife was with me. I got my my bodyguard, which is Fireball, and I think his lady might have been with him too, because it was a state day and it was a party being hosted for us at another club place. Anyway, so it's getting chilly, and it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, and temperature's starting to drop. I think it was probably summer. Well, when is that? That's in April, isn't it? So I think. I'm like, I looked over at him, and we're on the outer belt going around the freeway. I looked over at him. I said, I just motioned. I said, let's just roll, because I could tell she's getting cold, and it's already getting like 10. We got another 40 minutes or so to go. Get home. We stopped for an hour or so, even for a beer. It's going to turn into an hour. And so we just kept on going. Well, some people did go and stopped. And I think we had maybe, I don't even know what, maybe 8 or something in there. This bar on the west side. And all of a sudden, pulls up, blocks door entrances, both rear or side or something. I think I've been to that bar once. And this guy standing, we saw the film. I did. I mean, this guy's standing next to our guys that have been standing there for a half an hour, 20 minutes. All of a sudden, they all attacked at once. And we're talking, I don't know how many, but enough. It got us by enough surprise that they, did some really damage to us, because they are an organization that doesn't identify themselves. We're the only idiots out there in the world that, marker ourselves with, a vest or a color. It's like, hey, here I am. Well, they don't do that. So we had no idea that all of those guys that were in that bar were waiting on us to get there, or our patch to get there. And they really did hurt some people. And our guys hurt some people too. But my wife would have been there with me, and Fireball's wife. And I would probably have some splaining to do, because I would have had an empty cylinder, guaranteed. I would have had an empty cylinder. Not saying I would be in the wrong.
Again, how could an organization exist without anybody knowing who anybody was? You know what I mean? Like, how did they have a group? They were organized, obviously.
Shamrock.
Yeah, they. I don't know. How would you
The
say that? Is there something I don't even know?
I mean, that.
The brand.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Turn my mic.
It's off. Oh, it's on. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we have no idea. I mean, they just look like regular rednecks, which is a redneck bar. I mean, so, but the whole point is, you have to communicate. If you are out and something steps off, because the week before something had stepped off, and these two knuckleheads had gotten to it with some people there, but they never told anybody. So the rest of us
knew the situation.
Yes, and none of us knew, that I know of anyway. As far as I know, there was only 2 that knew.
That's a lack of communication.
Yeah, our guys walked right into that place. They just said, "Hey, we had a little bit of a beef there, that issue, with these particular people," so we would know. And these guys were just taking off guard. I said, I'd have been there with my wife, and I would defend her to the end. So the point is, again, just because you can doesn't mean you
Well, yeah. I can't speak for everybody's wife. My wife has my six. I'm pretty safe.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight her. I might wrestle with you, Pauline, but wrestle with you. But yeah, no, I mean, Jen has when somebody's with you long enough. That's a good point. When somebody's with you long enough, they
Understand the assignment.
Yeah, she is well versed. I mean, she looks out for me when she's with me. Even when I was here. I think I posted a video about it. This is way back.
Well, my wife feels this way. My mother feels the same way. Anybody going to take me out, they're going to be the one.
Like I said, I was working on the van, so this is like what, a year and a half ago. I was again working overnight. So I just got used to that from Tread and Goon. But fireworks in Florida is like it's Taco Tuesday. Fireworks. It's like second Monday of the month. Fireworks. It doesn't matter. They have fireworks constantly down here. I don't get it. But so it must have been, I don't know, a week or so after the 4th, maybe it was right before. But I'm out here working in the garage, and it's about 11:30, and she's zonked. I mean, she's out by 10. I mean, easy. She's there laying in bed watching TV, and somebody about 2 streets over fires off some fireworks, and they're one of those couple like pop pop pop. And I'm like, God, man, a little late to be firing off fireworks, on a Tuesday night or something, and then they did it again about 3 minutes. He goes, pop, pop, pop. I'm like, oh, shit. They're going to wake her up. I turn and look, and she's standing there at the door with a 38-year hand wearing just nothing but a silk robe. It's like short. And I looked over and I winked at her. I'm like, it's all good. It's fireworks. I mean, that's when you know they got your back. They got a bed.
Well, where I live, 4th of July, fireworks will be going off until daylight.
Oh, it's insane. We were down at, oh gosh, Clearwater maybe. I don't know. One year the son came down, Tank, it was a former club brother, and his wife came down with her kids, and they had a hotel. Yeah, it was like Indian Rocks. So we went down, got a hotel room, and so we could hang out. And then the 4th of July, whatever was that? Dude, there was more fireworks on that beach that I've ever seen any municipality in Ohio ever have. I mean, it was like the beach was on fire, and it was like just south of St. Pete, so they're firing theirs off too. Like, good grief, man! And I brought them out to Clacks before. I spent like $300, and I got some decent ones, but not like that. I mean, these things are a fortune,
Yeah, I've been seeing some of the ones the big ones, but I've been wanting to do a friend of mine's a pilot. I want to see the fireworks in the air.
Oh, yeah,
when you fly around St. Pete,
like too close to like napalm or something, or what do they call those things, anti-aircraft or something? No way. But I just make things as expensive as they are. But it's not why pros background noise is drowning you guys out. What's this? Professional.
Go out.
Oh, professionals background noise is drowning you out. I don't even hear him.
Who? DNA, you there? Oh, you lost
him. He might be on. See, he's on mute. Oh, because she was. Oh,
I muted. She muted.
Yeah, because she said his background noise was drowning us out in his bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. I literally have. It's like wasn't it like on an airplane or something? No, it's like the worst case scenario where you forget you're on a hot mic or like a headset and you go to the bathroom. I mean, I was like on a company conference call with like 30 people, and went here to take a leak and forgot to mute. And then, but what they heard was I turned the sink on. I was washing my hands, and my boss was like, "It sounds like somebody's like doing dishes or something." And, I'm like, "Oh, I said, that was me." I said, "I was just rinsing out my coffee cup." I'm like, and then I mean, God, that's like the dumbest thing ever. Those are, I mean,
I've never had these problems.
Yeah, well, I mean, the funny is everyone went on because of the thing. Everybody had to work from home. You had people's kids coming in the conference, dogs, it just, kids walking by in their underwear. It's like, it was hilarious. But anyway, I was trying to dial this back so we didn't have any. But anyway, where are we at here? Let's see. Benefits. Benefit of the doubt, be a good host. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing is, like, and you guys are so really different than most clubs I've been around. I mean, maybe it's because I know you, and I came in to your friendship the right way with the right people. But in most cases, I've seen that of you with others as well. I mean, you're great hosts and stuff. And it's not, you secure your facility as best you can. I mean, and you treat people well, and they're not every club like that. Some of the clubs act like they're doing you a favor to let you come there to spend your money, and I just don't. I never understood that.
Well, you said it earlier though. Uh, just like a bar, we depend on the supporters to help us support us.
Oh, hey, Cindy Lou Who's on. Lunchbox.
Look, old ladies, people are talking to themselves.
They're having their own side chat going on. I'm getting a little bit. I got all these audios turned up so much now that I got it all out of whack. But yeah, like I said, there were some that they Cindy Lou act like they're doing you a favor, let you come there and spend their money. There was one we went to up north of here, and last time I ever actually went, because the food never brought the food, the meat. I don't know if you had to have been at that. No, maybe not. You guys might not have been up there, but the last time Mr. Black, I went there.
We just went to one last weekend or whatever, and they did a food truck thing, right?
Yeah.
And the food truck broke down, so they were last minute scrambling. It was like hot dogs, hamburgers.
It sounds familiar. It might have been the same team.
Well, sometimes in an emergency situation.
Oh no, I'm down with that, and it's a totally different house too. Yeah. So I mean, but that's what they did up there, and it was like $20-some. I think for her and I, it was like 20.
One time they were making grilled cheese sandwiches.
I mean, you got to do what you get. I think we've had issues. I mean, things don't always go right. I hate hosting parties anyway, because even even just open house. I mean, open houses is different. I don't mind. I miss that. That's the other part I miss too, is having a clubhouse, because I don't go. I mean, I'm in the garage all the time. I don't leave the house. The only clubhouse I ever do is yours. I mean,
remember when we had to go down to West Virginia for a brother that passed away? They delivered the chicken to the clubhouse, and then the president's dog ate all the fucking chicken. We got back from the funeral. All the chicken was all over the clubhouse, and the dog was laying up on the pool table on its back.
Oh, gee. Was that,
was he letting you know it was good?
Was that like
yeah.
or something?
Yes. It was Trey's dog. It did it.
I went, but where? I must have left. It was, I mean, where was that? It was in Huntington, or
Huntington.
I mean, we're talking
Huntington.
Yeah, I mean, I went.
I was familiar with Beckley.
Well, I mean, Huntington's like mountains, man. It's like I got up.
I know the state. It's a country state.
I got there after dark, and I was in a cage because I had to work. So I had to be on a headset on a conference call in a hotel room by 3 p.m. I can't get there in one trip, so I had to leave the day ahead, be in a hotel by 3, work that night because I had to be like this, like a live setup, and then work till midnight, and then get up and then go to the next day to the hotel. And I had to work that night I got there. But the next day I get up, I come out of the hotel, I'm like, my goodness, we are literally in the valleys and the hills. No wonder he was cool. He was a young kid. I mean, I don't know, young, 20-something, maybe. 30, I don't know if he's 30 or.
You have DNA. You ever make it down for Bridge Day?
Or to Beckley?
Yes, sir.
I never went to. I never. You know what? As close as Beckley is, it was too close to Columbus to ever stop there. It was just like, I mean, it's like you're only 4 hours in or whatever. It's like I'm not stopping yet.
Me and Larry went down for Bridge Day down there right after my best friend passed away on the bike, and that's where I got his helmet painted at.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I never made the bridge. Like I said, now from down here, that's a trip worth taking. But
my old age saying how I've taught prospects and brothers, you always stop at Publix to get a bag of chicken or wherever, get a bag. Chicken will stay. Fried chicken will stay good for a day or so.
Oh yeah. We literally just
you never want to go somewhere without food because you don't know what they're going to have if they have food.
Well, I don't. We're very picky. I mean, I never used to be as picky, but Jen has to know you and know you more than just knowing you. Like, know your house is clean and you're not dirty. People, she will not eat at a parlor. She won't even eat at the clubhouse. She'd eat Danae's food, and what was Screamer's Patty. And when they brought food, she would eat theirs if she wanted something to eat. And of course, the clubhouse itself, we're making burgers and they're on the grill, fresh or whatever. But she's not touching anybody else's stuff, And I kind of went with her on that. Now I'm just like, unless I know people,
I've caught a couple bad habits like that from my old age.
Well, we had somebody that made stuff, and I appreciated the effort. But then I went to their house and seen they had like 3 cats on their countertop and shit, and like dishes. Oh, it was dirty. I'm like,
no.
No,
you have Asians.
huh? Yeah. But yeah, no. Anyway, what the hell were we talking about? All right, well, we're gonna dump it. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It was good to meet you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on because Goon's got to leave town. He's way behind on paint jobs, and I'm like, he's gonna do that a lot. I gotta get some backup hosts, even if they're remote,
I'll just let me know. Let me know when you go live. I'll come on.
I meant to earlier, and it takes me 4 hours to set this up and then tear it all down. I wish I had a basement. I've never missed my basement more in my life. Yeah. Wednesdays are going to be tough, too, because I lost my second co-host. So I've only got the one. So, and you're always welcome, but, it's just going to be.
I like to talk.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we're going to jump it and dump it. So be safe out there, DNA. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, brother.
Later.
Nice meeting you, too.
Have a good one, brother.
You too, bro.
In the club life, you get one